Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Another episode of Fab Race Mod Repeat here. And tonight I'm going to continue the Drag Racing Basics series. And we're going to talk about staging. And this will also be the first one I'm talking in because I figured it'd just be easier to talk through this one than it would to try to write it out. And I know everybody pretty much at a drag strip, if you go to a drag strip, you kind of know what's going on out here. You may definitely know what's going on out here. But I've also got a lot of people that are thinking about getting into drag racing and have been asking me, because this apparently is a really intimidating piece of it for folks. And I remember the first few times I rolled up there, you know, I felt a little, okay, this is where I'm either going to make myself look real good or look real bad. Don't let that bother you. Once you're in that car and on that track, you don't notice everything that's going on out here. And all these people out here are very glad that you're out here putting on a show for them. So don't forget that. Whatever happens, come back down that return road with a smile on your face and remember you're having a good time. You're going down the track. Now, with that said, let's talk about staging. And I'm going to use the Universal Automotive Talking Tool, the Hot Wheels car. In this case, this cool little Model T, Model A truck looking thing here. So this is going to be our real full-on race car. And then I've got this little new body style Camaro, and that's going to be our stock street car. So let's start with a basic staging. Now here's the drag strip, top view, left lane, right lane, center line, battleship, the rails, concrete block things that are around the timing equipment, and the tree. Here's your Christmas tree, top view. Here's your splitter box. Left lane pre-staged, left lane staged. That's your beams. They're 7 inches apart approximately. Right lane pre-staged, right lane staged. Again, 7 inches apart. I can't remember the distance from the staged beam to the tree. If somebody wants to add that in the comments, that'd be cool. I probably should have looked it up, but I didn't take time to do it. I apologize for that, but it's not really important for what we're talking about here. It'd just be a nice feature to have. So here's top view of the tree. And as I showed in the previous videos about the tree, you got pre-staged, staged, your 3 yellows, your green, and your red light. And our ultimate goal is to miss this little guy right here. Leave on this little guy. So, you've done your burnout, you pull up to the line. Soon as you break the pre-stage beam, the top light comes on. You roll forward approximately 7 inches, your tire gets in the beam, you break the staged beam. Okay, you're ready to go. If this was a by run, and let's say you were on a sportsman tree, you go yellow half second, yellow half second, yellow half second, green, and you'd take off. All right, if you were on a pro tree, you'd go pre-staged, staged, flash, yellow, green, go. All right, that's by run. That is just straight up simple staging. It's really no harder than that. It takes practice to get it right the first few times you go out there. But there's an old saying, you got to find a red light before you can avoid the red light. And that happens right here. But drag races can be won or lost right here at this piece of the track. So let's look at another scenario. Let's say, and because all this got generated by Mike's question of could I define a bracket race, let's say this is a bracket race. And this is going to be the essence of a bracket race. We got a full-on race car, and we got a street car that somebody worked hard, bought, got off from work on Friday night, and drove down to support their local drag strip. So, here we go. They're going to race. And I won't get into the what is a bracket race part of it right now because this is about staging, and we're just here to talk about staging tonight. And after I do this little classroom example, I'll follow this piece of the video up with a video of me staging the Mustang and Bubblegum staging the Camaro, and you'll get to see the lights actually work in both scenarios here. There's actually 3 kinds of staged. You're either straight up staged, which means you roll up, turn on the pre-stage, roll up, turn on the staged, and you're kind of trying to be dead in the middle of the space, and you wait for the tree to come down. There's shallow staged, which that's when you see the car pull up, they turn on the pre-stage, but then they ease up really carefully and slow, kind of like I usually do. and just barely turn on the stage bulb, and the second yellow bulb at the top. That's when you see it kind of flicker, 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 and then it finally just kind of stays on a lot of times. That's shallow staged. Now, the benefit of shallow staged is it's hard to go red. If you got a car that reacts real quick, or you typically react real quick and have a car that reacts quick, that's a surefire red light most of the time. Shallow staging helps you get some control over that, and you don't have as much of a chance of red lighting. You're either going to typically cut a really good green light or an okay green light. You're either going to cut an 03 or better, or say an 07 or less, typically using that setup once you've learned your car and you've got your process worked out and you have your routine down. Now, by the same token, let's say you got a brand new SS Blue Camaro with white stripes here, and it's got real tight performance car handling suspension, and it's made more for, not that they're not great drag cars, but it's made more for road racing, cutting corners, carving corners, however you want to put it. It's got real tight suspension. It doesn't do a lot of weight transfer to the rear. It just handles great. Well, on the drag strip, that's going to hurt you a little bit, because that cuts down the weight transfer time and the amount of weight transfer to the back. Whereas this car will pretty much instantly weight transfer to the rear and take off. This Camaro is going to ease forward and go, where this car's just going to pop forward. Now, and I'm taking that to extreme just for talking about staging and why we're going to do what we're getting ready to do. And it can be anywhere in between there, variable wise. And as you race and as you watch the cars race, you'll understand what I'm talking about there. But this car pulls up, it turns on the top bulb. Now let me go ahead and draw those in. Now I'm not going to draw the whole tree on this side, because we know what's going on down here. And the other thing I'm not going to do is, when I pull up here, that pre-stage is on, but I'm not going to color it yellow. So now this car pulls up. Now this one's going to stage deep. This is when you see deep wrote on the window. And you write that on there as a courtesy to your fellow racers, so that they don't think there's something wrong with the tree. So they pull up and turn the pre-stage on. Then they turn on the staged. And then they roll up a little bit more and turn off the pre-stage light. Now that's deep staged. Now, the risk of that is they're actually closer to the red light time-wise and distance to the tree-wise, even though we're talking probably an inch or less in the difference in being shallow staged and deep staged, depending on the diameter of the tires. If both cars had a 28-inch front tire, you're probably talking an inch, inch and a half difference, maybe. I've never measured it, but it's not much. But what it's going to do, because this car is going to react slower, it's closer to the red light, but it's also less likely to red light because it moves out so slow in relation to its tire rolling, which is what triggers the lights. So this car is either going to cut a good light or a very, very red light because it's deep staged. And it takes a few times down the track before you kind of get the knack of this. And it's like everything else, it takes practice. So if you're thinking about going out there and you go out and you try it, don't get frustrated if you go red the first time or you're really, really late. We've all been through it. It's part of learning a drag race. It happens. You will get better. It's like everything else. Practice, practice, practice. And I know I just said that, but it just takes practice and seat time. So that's about all there is to staging. Now, another aspect is left or right on the track. And that's probably a part of a discussion for another time, but let's just touch on it briefly. When you pull up, if you're a little farther right, you're technically, your eyesight's closer to the stage light. And you're also closer to the green light. So it's technically a little easier for you to go red. Whereas by the same token, if you're far left, then your eyes are farther from the lights and you're more likely to cut a little worse light than you would if you were over here. But that just all depends on your car and the driver, the eyesight of the driver, the time of day, how the lighting is affecting the lights on the tree. There's a lot of variables there. But you want to try to stay in the same place. And I'm getting ready to do another video, and I'll talk more about that there, because I got another idea for another video before we actually do the what is a bracket race video. There it is. That's kind of the long and short of it. Playing with America's favorite little toy cars, which is always fun as car guys. Yay. I'm going to include some videos of me staging the Mustang and shallow staging or straight up staging, and bubblegum staging the Camaro, which she deep stages, so that you can see it actually on the tree looking out the window of the car. I've been able to get some cool shots because of the GoPro. I'm glad I bought it. So, and GoPro's not endorsing or paying for this video or anything. I'm happy with it, so I just mentioned it. But that will give you an idea what it really looks like from the driver's seat. Well, sort of kind of the driver's seat. Think about it, you know, what I just showed you here, and you'll see it happening in real life. So let's cut over to that. So here we go, we're pulling up to get ready to stage, and the guy in the right lane has just staged. Now I'm moving up, moving up. There, we're both pre-staged. Now he'll stage. And you'll notice I'm going to move up just enough to turn the bulb on. There. And here we go. Green light. Hey. Twisted a little bit on the launch, but that's okay. Now we'll move over to bubblegum. This may not show up too good because of the sun and where the light is in relation to the light above the tree line. So the other guy's already pre-staged. Now he's fully staged. She's staged. He's gone red, unfortunately. And here goes bubblegum. Now, Bubblegum's fixing to do something a little different here. Her and the BMW she's racing, they're both going to deep stage. And this is a good example of what can happen when you deep stage and the risk involved. But a lot of times the gain is worth the risk. In this case, it doesn't work out for the BMW. But Bubblegum cuts a real good light. That's about it for staging. I hope you found that interesting and informative. If you got any questions or is there anything you'd like to know about staging that maybe I didn't cover, please ask it down in the comments and I'll see what I can do about answering it for you. As always, practice your skills or try to learn a new one. You never know where it'll take you. Thanks for watching. Be kind to each other. Until next time, this has been Fab Race Mod Repeat. Have a great day.